Okay, so before we can start to actually integrate kinematics into what we are learning about free body diagrams and Newton's second law, let's take a minute and review kinematics quickly. So here we have a situation where we have a car traveling at 25 meters per second, and it's apparently going to brake to a stop. When it does that, it can apply a force of 4,500 newtons. And what we're looking for is the minimum stopping distance. What's the minimum distance required for the car to stop? So I'm going to go through here, mark my terms, 1,200 kilograms for the car. That is the mass of the car. The velocity, starting velocity, is going to be 25 meters per second. And if it's going to come to a stop, that's going to be its ending velocity, right? It's going to be a velocity of 0. And my cats are fighting in the background. So if you're hearing strange noises, that's what that is. There's 2 of them. One of them's nice and the other's kind of mean. So now the brakes themselves are going to apply that force. So I have a hodgepodge of different variables here, right? I've got all kinds of stuff. For example, I have a mass. I know that is 1,200 kilograms. I have some kind of force. That force of braking is going to be 4,500 newtons. And then I also have these velocities. I have an initial velocity. And that initial velocity is going to be 25 meters per second. And if you look at my sketch, I've drawn the car traveling in the positive direction. So I'm going to leave that positive. And then if the car is going to come to a stop, I have a final velocity, and that final velocity is going to be 0. Okie doke. So interesting. I know that what I'm actually looking for is a distance. It's a minimum stopping distance. And so that's going to be delta x. And I've kind of marked that in the sketch, where that would be in the situation. I don't know delta x. This is what I'm looking for. So it never hurts to kind of like highlight that so that we can remind ourselves. And then I've got to think about, okay, what do I actually need to know? If this is an acceleration problem, which it is, because I'm going to start at one velocity, 25 meters per second, and I'm going to end at another, 0, which means I'm changing velocity, and that's what an acceleration is. The minute I know I have an acceleration, I know that I have to use the kinematic equations. And so I also know, hopefully I remember from back in the day, that if I'm going to do kinematic equations, there are 5 possible variables and I need 3 in order to solve. Now, I've got 3 of the 5 listed, V initial, V final, delta x. The remaining 2 are the acceleration, and I should put my vectors on there, sorry. And finally, time. Okie doke. So there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that I don't have delta x. That's what I'm solving for. I don't have acceleration, and I don't have time. And I need to get one of those 3 if I'm going to solve for delta x. So I either need to get acceleration, or I need to get time. I see no way to get time. However, there is a way here to get the acceleration. So when I look at what other information I'm given, I notice I have a mass and I have a force. And if I remember, Newton's second law tells us that force equals mass times acceleration. And yes, it's the sum of the forces, but in a situation like this, it's okay to skip the sum because I'm not drawing a complete free body diagram. I'm not comparing forces in one direction versus to the left versus to the right. It's okay to just F equals MA it on this one. And so what I can actually do here is I can solve F equals ma for A. To simply rewrite that, acceleration is going to be equal to the force divided by the mass, which in this case, my force is going to be 4,500 newtons divided by the mass of 1,200 kilograms. When I do that division, I am very quickly going to do it on my calculator. And while my cat in the back, I'll tell you what, normally it's the dog that is making a whole lot of noise when I'm making videos. Today it is the cat. Not loving it. 3.75. So 3.75 meters per second squared. It's a square. Now, the one thing that we have to decide here is what is the sign of the acceleration? Because remember that if an object is slowing down, that means that its velocity and its acceleration vectors are going in opposite directions. And so if my velocity is going this way, if I'm going to come to a stop, that means my acceleration vector has to be going that way. And so that means that this needs to be negative. And you just have to, in a situation like this, you just have to reason that out, okay? So here's my acceleration. I'm going to come down and I'm going to write that in, negative 3.75 meters per second squared. And now I have enough to solve for delta x. I have v final, I have v initial, I have delta x, and I have a. So I am going to pull up my kinematic equations, and let's just review those for a minute. We have, let me put them in pink. We have v final equals v initial plus a t. That one's not going to work for us because we have time. No time. We have delta x equals 1/2 at squared plus v initial t. Also not going to work for us, thank God, because of the lack of time. And finally, we have v final squared equals v initial squared plus 2a delta x. And here's the one that's going to work for us. So let's come on down here. I'm just going to rewrite it to make things visible. V final squared equals v initial squared plus 2a times delta x. And I'm going to end up solving this for delta x. I'm just going to plug all my numbers in and go. Final velocity, I have 0. Initial velocity, I have 25 meters per second, and I'm going to need to square that, plus 2 times acceleration, which is negative 3.75 meters per second squared, times delta x. From here on out, it is all math. So let me pull up the old calculator. 25 squared is 625. And I'm going to end up with my units, meters squared over seconds squared, minus 3.75 times 2, minus 7.5 meters per second squared, and that is delta x. And so I am going to pull over and subtract. Let me get that. I'm going to subtract 625 meters squared per second squared from both sides. And I'm not going to have space to write this all out. about. I'm concerned about that. So I'm going to end up having negative 625 meters squared per second squared equals negative 7.5 meters per second squared times delta x. Last steps are to divide both sides by negative 7.5 meters per second squared. And so on. And I'm going to get 625 divided by 7.5. I'm going to end up with, and I can't write below it just because of the way my screen works on what I'm writing on. So delta x, I came out with 83.3 repeating. And notice that my units work out to just be meters. So it requires at least 83.3 meters for that car to stop. So here's how this is going to continue to work as we go forward. We're constantly taking everything and putting it together. So we're bringing in what did we know about kinematics and how to solve those kinds of problems. And we're taking that as a piece and inserting it into a larger problem where we're actually looking at, at forces and accelerations. And so just take it a step at a time. Look at what you are given. Look at what you are being asked for. Think about everything that you know. And I would highly encourage you can use some of the time today to make some flashcards. There's index cards on the back bookshelf by where the rulers and colored pencils and stuff are. Make a card for the kinematic equations and anything to do with acceleration. Put all the equations on it. Put any little notes on there that you think you need. Like, these are my 5 possible variables. I need 3 of them. Make one for constant velocity. Make one for force now. And you'll have just a few little resources that when you get into these problems and you realize, oh, wait, I've got some force. I got some kind of force variables in there, but I also have some acceleration variables in there. What do I do here? You can start to piece together solutions. Okay, so you are going to go ahead and you are going to practice a few of these, and this is preparing us to add free body diagrams and some of forces equations into all of this. I know you're excited because I think these are fun. They're probably more fun when I'm there, but who knows? Have a good day, folks, and I will see you tomorrow.